Okay, first I want to explain what this is and what it does. So this is a MAXPlanetary ratchet. It goes right in front of the first stage, or right in front of the input stage of MAXPlanetary. So it is directly one-to-one with the Neo. What it does is you have this servo, which can actuate, determine whether you have the ratchet on or off. And then what you can do is, let's say you have a climber that you don't want to come down at the end of the match. You climb up all the way, then you activate this ratchet, and the climber physically can't come down because the ratchet is engaged. And yeah. So since it's on the front of the MAXPlanetary, that means that it requires very little torque. It undergoes very little torque because it's a one-to-one. So the most a Neo can produce is about 1 Newton meter of torque. And then at the end of the MAXPlanetary, you have maybe like 12-to-1, 20-to-1, something like that. So you have a giant reduction. So the shaft only spins 20 times for every 1 time the output spins. So there's a lot less torque on where the shaft is than where the output is. So it's much, so there isn't too much of a durability problem with making this. The pivot's on a bolt, so it's also very strong. I haven't had any problems with it breaking. An important disclaimer, I haven't put it on a robot yet, so I don't know if it's going to stand up to the trials of a robot competition. So I guess use it at your own risk. Okay, so this is a demonstration of my MAXPlanetary ratchet. As you can see, we have a servo here, has a spring on it. The servo controls whether the ratchet is on or off. So you can see when the ratchet's on, I can ratchet it this way. And then the other way, it is locked because it's the ratchet. Now the servo's in the unlocked position, so I can just spin it freely. Got a MAXPlanetary here and a Neo on top. Look at the top, you can see how the ratchet works. So when it's down all the way, the spring is compressed, right, and then the awl is out of the way of the ratchet, so the ratchet can spin freely. Now, when we close it, the spring's still compressed. It's pushing this in, right? It's pulling on this and pushing the ratchet in. So it can spin a little bit less. I mean, yeah, it can't spin one way, and it can spin the other way. All the force is going through directly here, directly through that line. So all the force is on one of the mounting bolts. Okay, so I'll now go into how you assemble it. So start with the motor, obviously. You can use pretty much any motor. A Vortex, you just put a hex shaft through. Kraken, I don't think you can use a Kraken because you don't have an 8mm to 1/2" hex adapter for a Kraken yet. But this is offered for a Falcon, so you could use this in Falcon. Alright, then you put on the 8mm to 1/2" hex adapter, you put on the ratchet. You'd actually put on the 30-baud insert to the ratchet first. Alright, so it just has more torque bearing capability. So then you have all of that. Alright, then separately, you get the main body and the micro servo. You put bolts through. They should be self-tapping bolts, and the one I came with self-tapping bolts, but I'm sure there's other mounting solutions you could use with these holes. Right, so then you have the motor assembly and this assembly separate. Then what you do is you get the input stage of a MAXPlanetary, and you want to put the first bolt through. Right, so this bolt to the Neo. Don't do it too tight yet because you want to put the other bolt through next. So you put the spacer and the awl together, and you put them in. Then you just put the bolt through. So that's nice and simple. Then pretty much the second last step, you put the horn and the spring on. First you want to find wherever you want your home position for the servo to be and have it like commanded via PWM to go to there, and then you put the horn in with the spring, and you should bolt it down with whatever bolts it comes with. Right, and then the last step, you put in the 1/2" hex to MAXPlanetary input adapter, and then you bolt this onto the rest of your MAXPlanetary.